Since before we go live, I just want to say hi to Luz Maria too.
Estamos en vivo.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Buenos días a todas y a todos. Soy Luz María de la Mora.
Good morning. My name is Luz María de la Mora, Undersecretary of Foreign Trade of the Secretariat of Economy. It will be an honor for me to act as moderator of the Mexico-Canada High-Level Economic Dialogue that we're going to refer to as MEAM next. I would like to welcome Tatiana Cutles, Secretary of Economy of Mexico. It's an honor also to welcome the Minister of International Trade, Export Promotion, Small Business and Economic Development from Canada, Minister Mary Ng. Welcome, Minister. And I would also like to welcome today Minister of Innovation, Science and Industry from Canada, Minister François-Philippe Champagne. Welcome, Minister. I would like to thank you for your presence through this transmission that we are doing live. And I would like to tell you that we have the simultaneous translation service in English, French, and Spanish. And we're also connected to the YouTube channels of the Ministry of Economy, so you can log in through the social media. I would like to give the floor to Secretary Tatiana Cloutier so that she can share with us her vision for this new mechanism of cooperation between Mexico and Canada that we're launching today. Good morning, Mary, François-Philippe, colleagues, Dr. de la Mora, the media that have joined us this morning in this very important event for the Ministry of Economy. It's an honor to start with this high-level economic dialogue, Mexico-Canada, that will allow us to continue strengthening our relationship as trade partners and friends that we have been doing for many years. Doing so as partners in North America, we share our belonging to the CUSMA, and for innovative trade for the benefit of the population, we shared with Canada the interest to deepening our bilateral relationship. We both are part of CUSMA, but we are also part of the CPTPP. And for 18 years, we have cooperated within the framework of trade, investment, and innovation of the Mexico-Canada partnership for more than 18 months. There have been conversations with Mary and François-Philippe. We're interested in have a deeper relationship in trade and investment. The dialogue that we launch today is one of these activities and is a core element for the rebound of our economy during COVID, post-COVID, after COVID. Canada is our fifth trade partner with more than 34 billion. And in this first quarter of 2022, a 16% increase has been shown in our flows vis-a-vis the past year. Canada has always been present. And this was the first country that I visited virtually on June 7, 2021, after I became the secretary the 7th of July. Within that same year, after the first anniversary of the CUSMA, I received in Mexico Minister Ng, and on November the 5th, I received Minister Champagne in Monterrey. Recently, I visited Vancouver within the framework of the celebration of the second meeting of the Free Trade Commission of CUSMA. These in-person meetings, in spite of COVID, shows the great importance that we give to our relationship with Canada. You are a core partner to promote innovation, technology, and create new commercial and cooperation opportunities to accelerate the inclusion of entrepreneurs and other vulnerable sectors in society. This is what we were able to see when Minister Champagne visited Monterrey. On July 7 and 8 in Vancouver, I was able to visit the entrepreneurial and innovation system of your country, which will be a main part of this dialogue. I am so enthusiastic to implement this dialogue that will be a complement of CUSMA, because this will allow us to improve the regional competitiveness as well as our regional integration. We hope that this will allow for having an ambitious strategic cooperation with the private sectors after hard work of our teams. Again, I would like to thank all the teams for the wonderful work they have done. We are going to frame this cooperation in 3 pillars. First, to improve our competitive advantage. Second, to promote bilateral trade and equitable trade. And third, to have a more robust investment and business climate and strengthen the opportunities that CUSMA has provided us to continue with the integration achieved by NAFTA. And I'm very proud of the cooperation that we have developed to continue supporting people that have been underrepresented through the Inclusive Trade Action Group, Global Trade and General Arrangement in favor of the inclusion of women in all these activities. Through this dialogue, we're going to establish a working group to promote a better investment climate. Mexico values the investment of Canada as of March 2022, $48,900 million, where Canada accounts for our third source of direct foreign investment in Mexico. The interests of the private sector of Mexico and Canada are very important, 2,419 million in 2021. This working group will allow us to exchange our concerns and promote priorities and projects in the 2 countries. I would like to take advantage of this opportunity to thank you, Mary, Francois, Philippe, for the open dialogue that we have always had with you, with our teams. I am sure that the launch of this joint initiative will allow us to take steps in favor of an economic integration. Thank you very much, and we all are ready to start with this new stage of bilateral relationship. Thank you very much, Secretary Curti. I would like to give the floor to Minister Mary Ng. You have 3 minutes for your participation. You have the floor now, Minister.
Thank you very, very much, Undersecretary Del Mora. Very nice to see you. Hello, buenos dias, bonjour tout le monde. I'm thrilled to be joining here with my colleague, Francois Philippe, and to welcome everyone to the very first high-level economic dialogue between Canada and Mexico. And of course, Tatiana, it is always wonderful to see you. And it feels like just yesterday that we were together in Vancouver to celebrate CUSMA's second year anniversary, and to have the very productive discussion and dialogue and the work that we have been doing together, Canada and Mexico, but also within the North American context. Let me begin, though, by acknowledging that I'm participating today from Treaty 1 territory, the traditional gathering place of the Anishinaabe, Cree, Ojibwe, Dakota, Dene people, and the traditional homeland of the Métis Nation. Indigenous people are the founders of trade in what we now call Canada, and indeed across North America. They are our first traders, our first entrepreneurs, and our first exporters. And today we still rely on these foundations, and we all have a role to play alongside Indigenous peoples so that we ensure everyone can benefit from global trade. And for more than 75 years, Canada and Mexico have worked together to build a prosperous relationship while preserving and enhancing rules-based international trade and multilateral engagement. In a relationship as deep and as significant as ours, it's important for us to work closely together to tackle the new challenges and increase our collective competitiveness. The global trade landscape faces unprecedented disruptions caused by Russia's illegal invasion of Ukraine. Russia's actions have directly resulted in record high prices in food, oil and gas, and other essential goods, which have caused real hardships for people across the globe as well as here on our continent. This landscape today makes the high-level economic dialogue all the more important. And I know that this is going to be the first of many such meetings. It's going to help us expand and strengthen our trade relationship, which has already reached over $40 billion last year. And this will benefit our workers and our businesses in our countries. Last year, Mexico was Canada's third largest trading partner and one of the top 10 destinations for Canada direct investment abroad, including in Mexicans' clean energy and technology sectors. The linkages in our economy runs deep. Let's just look at the auto industry as an example. We've been building cars together for decades. And thanks to the continued engagement with our partner in the United States, by both of our governments, we're going to continue to build the cars of the future, which are electric cars. And this is going to help the North American auto industry transition become both cleaner and greener. And Tatiana, you'll remember that when you were in Vancouver, speaking of cleaner and greener, we visited this wonderful company owned by a extraordinary women business leader in Vancouver. It's called Crichton. It started out as a small family-run business in 1973. And we saw that this one company now has become the world's leading smart concrete solutions provider. And to my industry minister colleague, if you give him the floor, he's going to tell you many, many, many more other examples as well. But a company like this one has offices here in Canada, in Mexico City, and indeed around the world. And they're selling their innovative crystalline waterproof mixture every year to about 50 countries. These are the benefits of trade. And as Mexican companies, we have seen their success here in Canada. I remember when I was in Mexico last year, I met with Grupo Bimbo, which is the largest baking company in the world, which has a significant presence here in Canada. And after several major investments here in Canada, Bimbo has now become a leading provider of fresh baked bread and products all across Canada. So whether it's from Toronto to Calgary, to Monterrey, to Tijuana, to Mexico City, Canadian and Mexican workers and businesses are growing our economies. They're thriving and driving this North American competitiveness, which we are all here to work to strengthen. And as we strengthen these supply chains in North America, we're making sure that our economy and the growth is equitable and it's inclusive. It means bringing more women, young people, LGBTQ2, people with disabilities, Indigenous peoples, and make sure that they benefit from international trade, and certainly international trade here among Canada and Mexico and within the North American context, so that they can access these markets that we are, that is North America, and that while, and building from here to springboard to elsewhere around the world. It was terrific in Mexico when I was able to meet with the group of women entrepreneurs and small businesses, Tatiana, that you brought together. And then when here in Vancouver just last month, the first ever women's led trade delegation, really impressive women leaders from Mexico, from Canada, who convened in an effort to do what? To create business and to build investment opportunities together. So I think now more than ever, the world needs us to come together to drive our shared recovery, to address climate change, to put our people first. So I'm very pleased that we are beginning this work at the high level through this dialogue, but it's more than a dialogue. You'll hear from my colleague that we're, and Tatiana, I know that from you as well, that we're all doers. We all like to do things and make sure that we get things done for people. So it's terrific that we'll work together, whether it's overcoming challenges around regulatory permitting or labor or renewable energy, areas where Canada is a global leader and a staunch advocate. We believe that we should expand and deepen our relationship so that all will benefit. And when we have a stable, predictable investment climates, regulatory regimes, we send a strong signal that we're open for business. So I'm looking forward so that, for us to have these candid and productive discussions and really to roll up our collective sleeves to help our businesses and our entrepreneurs, both in Canada and Mexico. I often like to say to start up, to scale up, and then to reach each other's markets, but then together to reach it around the world. So thank you very much. Merci beaucoup. Muchas gracias.
Muchísimas gracias, Ministra Ng, por compartir.
Thank you very much, Minister Ng, for sharing with us your vision regarding the investment and trade vision between Mexico and Canada. I would like to give the floor now to Minister FALAP, François-Philippe Champagne. You have the floor now.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Mary, for the wonderful words.
Buenos días a todos.
It's obviously a real pleasure. Buenos días. Tatiana, I would say it's like a family reunion. This is my first event starting from a short vacation. And I was saying, what a wonderful way to start again, where I'm joined by Mary, by you, Tatiana, which is a dear friend of Canada, and Luis Maria, who've been following the Canadian file for a number of years, so you've been a great ally of our country. And so I'm very, very glad to be joining a very productive discussion. And I know, Minister Cloutier, that you have Canada in your heart as well, because you came to Vancouver, you hosted me in Monterrey. Minister Ng and I were talking before how much we feel togetherness in a world where I think we need to do more together. So I'd like to thank you, Secretary Cloutier, for hosting us and for Undersecretary de la Mora for moderating the discussion today. In what I hope will become a tradition. You know, when you do the type of work we do, you like to leave something, something permanent. And I think this high-level economic dialogue was very much needed between our two great countries. And I think the size of the opportunities justify us to be working closer together. This new dialogue will promise to establish new areas of cooperation. And I think today, this is really the meaning, this first meeting where we can cooperate and build on the great conversations that took place during the visit I made to Monterrey this past November. And I'm very, very glad, Tatiana, that you decided to follow up on our discussion. I think you were one of the first Minister of Industry or the Economy that I visited when I moved over to the industry portfolio. And hopefully you saw that as a sign of the importance we attach to this relationship between Canada and Mexico, and also with our US partner. But I think the bonds between our two countries are strong and growing. And as Minister Ng said very eloquently, we are in a world which is faced with a number of challenges. And I think more and more people are going to be looking at the people and the innovation coming from North America. And I think this provides a huge opportunity. Stability, predictability, the rule of law are key in order to attract investment and to provide leadership in the world, whether it's about standards, whether it's about norms. I think we can lead the world together in terms of doing that. Whether we do that internationally through the G20 and APEC, and I'm glad that Mary is leading the effort at these events, whether it's trilaterally through the Canada, US, and Mexico agreement and the North American Leaders Summit, which is also another catalyst to see what we can do more, but also bilaterally. I think today through the Canada-Mexico partnership and now this dialogue, I think we have the instrument in order to deliver for the people and to look at very concrete steps we can take, pilot projects. Really, we all know each other. We're all doers, as Mary was saying. So hopefully we have very concrete projects that can come out of the dialogue. And it's clear that Canada and Mexico have a strong foundation to continue to build on the North American relationship. And today, I think we will be able to build on that foundation in three important areas. And I think, Minister Cloutier, you referred to them. First, we want to strengthen our competitive advantage. I would say as a continent, I was reflecting yesterday, preparing for the dialogue today. We've been blessed by talent. We've been blessed by strong ecosystems. We've been blessed by resources. We've been blessed by geography, energy, and markets. And I think that's what we need to really build upon in order to be able to lead in a world which very much needs more of North America in a number of sectors. I think Minister Ng mentioned the automotive sector. I can think about biomanufacturing. I can think about space. I can think about the digital world. I can think about AI. I can think about quantum, the type of things that we have that are going to, fuel the innovation of tomorrow are really much within North America. So what we're going to be looking at today is how can we enhance our workforce to meet the skill gaps that key industries are facing? Because I think we would all agree that talent is the currency of today. And I would say of tomorrow. If you have the talent, you can attract the investment, you can grow the economy, you can provide prosperity. So I think we're going to be looking at that today. We'll also look at new ways where we can foster a more collaborative business environment by boosting supply chain resiliency and the innovation ecosystems. We've all seen the importance of supply chain. I remember as a former foreign affairs minister, when the tsunami of COVID hit the world, we were very much looking at supply chain. And I know with you and Minister Ng, a lot of work has been done to see how can we have more resilient supply chain. As we see, global supply chain are becoming more regional. There's more emphasis on resiliency and pure efficiency. And I think that plays to Canada's advantage. And how we can support innovators and boost research and small and medium-sized businesses, which Minister Ng mentioned, to make sure that growth is inclusive, that we want to make everyone part of the journey we're going to take together. The second pillar we're going to be talking about is to support equitable growth in bilateral trade. by promoting small businesses. Mary is very good in Canada to remind Canadians that the foundation of our economy is small and medium-sized businesses. That's the bulk of employment in our country. So how can we make sure that they benefit from all these trade agreements that we have signed, all the facilitation we can provide with export financing, with opportunities. So providing opportunities should be the goal of today. And third, how we can strengthen our investment climate so we can look at many positive benefits for the Canadian Mexican investments in each other countries. You mentioned Group Bimbo. Minister Cloutier, you'd be smiling, but Bimbo is even in Shawinigan. As I drove recently, I saw a sign and I said, oh my God, my friends from Mexico are even in Shawinigan, a smaller town, I would say, in Canada. But the fact that you are present in our country and that we have a number of Canadian firms which are looking at energy. If you think about energy security, food security, that's probably where people are thinking a lot these days. So as Canada Minister of Innovation, Science and Industry, I'm obviously very eager to work with you. And really what I think, Tatiana, what we can do is about the green recovery. I often think that North America can be the green supplier of choice to many of the markets in the world. And I hope we can look at that together. We all know that we've seen that COVID-19, I think, has suggested that we should do more within our hemisphere. You'll remember, Tatiana, when we met, I said, why don't we coordinate more? You see that in other parts of the world where people coordinate more on a continental basis. And I think that's very much something that we should look at. How can we coordinate more our economic action between Canada, Mexico, and the United States to be really that powerhouse that I think we can be together? And obviously, we'll need to look at innovation to transition to cleaner economy. That's very much part of the DNA of our government, you know, to look at the green recovery. I think it goes with the values that Canadian hold, and I would say Mexican. And I think those are going to be key for growth in the future. And let me say publicly, I think Mexico has no better North American partner than Canada. And I hope you feel it because we like to do things with you, our Mexican friend. We're committed to working shoulder to shoulder with you to grow the relationship, to create a cleaner, greener future for everyone. So en terminant, je dirais, let's be bold, let's be ambitious, and let's seize the moment. Merci encore, Madame la ministre, de nous accueillir aujourd'hui de façon virtuelle. Je pense que vous pouvez comprendre que la ministre Eng et moi aurons soit l'opportunité de vous recevoir au Canada, or we're also glad to go see you in Mexico to really continue the great dialogue we've started. So with that, I'll turn over to you, Undersecretary de la Mora, and say thank you to our Mexican friends. We'll do good things together. Merci.
Muchísimas gracias, Ministro Champagne.
Thank you very much, Minister Champagne, for your words, inspiring message. Thank you for motivating us all to implement this very powerful dialogue between Mexico and Canada. We have completed with the first segment in the agenda. We would like to thank all of you who have been part of this transmission. Thank you very much for your attention. And we are going to give you updates of the works performed within the framework of CUSMA and the Mexico-Canada High-Level Economic Dialogue. Thank you very much for participating.
Just gonna wait for 1 minute until Sergio tells us that we're out of the air. Just give me 1 second.